بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach us beneficial knowledge. We start our program about getting ready to Ramadan. Getting ready to Ramadan. As Ramadan coming closer, so we try to prepare ourselves to get ready for this great month. So in this episode, we talk about fasting in Ramadan is obligatory on every Muslim who. So obligatory for whom? Of course, there are some specific types of Muslims, children, women facing some circumstances, they are exempted from fasting. So here we talk about fasting is obligatory on every Muslim who is of sound mind. He has normal mental abilities. The Muslim is capable of fasting. Maybe there is a very old man, very old woman, they are exempted from fasting. And the Muslim is not traveling, because traveling, one of the excuses for not fasting. And we'll talk about it in detail, inshallah. And there is nothing to prevent the Muslim from fasting, because we'll talk about the woman who is menstruating, the woman who is having her monthly course, she doesn't fast. And the woman who gives birth to a child has postnatal bleeding, she doesn't fast. And of course, it's a person who come of age, the grown up people. Children are encouraged to fast, but they are not obliged to fast. How can we know? Scholars refer to how can we know that a boy or a girl has come of age? Ejaculation for boys and girls, and appearance of pubic hair around private parts, and of course for girls, for women, is starting of menstruation. Now we come to hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, رفع القلم عن ثلاثة عن الصغير حتى يبلغ وعن النائم حتى يستيقظ وعن المصاب حتى يكشف عنه. That Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that the pen has been lifted from three. It means that they will not be held accountable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not ask them. They are not held accountable. So the three types of people: the child until he or she reach puberty, and the sleeper until he wakes up, and from the insane until he gains again his sanity. He comes back to his normal mental life. So here, scholars of Sahih International, they explain this, that fasting is obligatory upon every Muslim who is adult, mentally sound, normal mental abilities, healthy, and not traveling. So according to this, the child is not required to fast, but he should be encouraged. If you have a child, the child may be 7 years old, 8 years old, he is not required to fast, but we should encourage him. Or if there is a girl, she is still young, maybe 6 years or 7 years, let's say 7 years, 8 years ago, she is not required to fast. But we should try to encourage the child to fast, the boy or the girl. So he get into the habit of fasting. Know the great blessing of Ramadan. It becomes normal for him, and to share the spirit of Ramadan, to share this great time, the spirit of this great time. People with mental impairment should not fast, nor do the elderly people who suffer from dementia. If there is an old man, very old man, or very old woman who suffer from dementia, of course, she is not required to fast. The same thing about the people who have mental disabilities, mental impairment, they are not required to fast. They are not required to fast. Now we talk about exemptions from fasting. So we talk about different situations. We start by talking about menstruating women. Of course, the menstruating woman does not fast. The menstruating woman does not fast, does not pray, does not have sexual intercourse with the husband. So the menstruating woman does not fast. And she makes up. After Ramadan, she makes up what she missed. So if she missed the 5 days from Ramadan because of menstruation, after Ramadan, she makes up what she missed. Now we talk about postnatal bleeding. Postnatal bleeding. If there is a woman, she gives birth to a baby and she's bleeding. She is having postnatal bleeding. Again, she doesn't fast. The same ruling. Doesn't fast, doesn't pray, doesn't have sexual intercourse with the husband. And she makes up. After Ramadan, if she missed the 20 days, 15 days, 10 days from Ramadan, after Ramadan, she makes up what she missed. Now we come to the traveler. It depends upon the status of person himself. If it's Ramadan and the person is traveling, if it's okay for him, he finds that he can do it. If there is a sister, she is traveling, but she finds it's okay, it's not easy. Maybe we are in winter, the day is not long. She can do it. She can fast. Of course, it's better to fast. But if she finds it's difficult for her, or the brother finds it's difficult for him, he doesn't fast. And after Ramadan, he makes up what he missed. If he missed 1 day, 2 days, he makes up what he missed. Now come to pregnant woman and the nursing woman, the woman who gives breastfeeding. So for these two types of women, the woman who is pregnant and the woman who is giving breastfeeding to a baby, again, it depends upon the situation of woman itself. If she can fast, it's okay. If she can fast, it's okay. Maybe in winter, the day is not long. She sleeps some time of the day, so she can do it. She can do it. Maybe the baby can depend upon himself. He can eat something. He can drink something. So it's easy. If the woman can do it, it's okay. But if she cannot, maybe the doctor told her, no, you cannot fast. It will be dangerous. If the woman is pregnant, it may be dangerous for your baby. Or if the woman is giving breastfeeding and she finds that there is not enough milk to feed the child, so she doesn't fast. And after Ramadan, she make up what she missed. Now we talk about sick people. We talk about sick man or sick woman. If he find that he can tolerate the pain, he can fast. But if it's difficult, so he doesn't fast and he make up after Ramadan. If he missed 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, after Ramadan, he make up. Now we talk about sick people that has incurable. Maybe some people have let's say, have cancer. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cure them. There is no possibility that these people will be cured in Ramadan, and there is no possibility that even after Ramadan, there is no possibility for curing. So for these people, of course, they don't fast, and they don't make up, because even after Ramadan, they cannot make up, but they feed. They feed. The rule is one person for 1 day. The rule is one person for 1 day. So if the person does not fast the whole month, so a whole month he doesn't fast, so he should feed, let's say, 30 people. Scholars say that he can feed them all together on one person for 1 day, but the rule is feeding 1 day, one person for 1 day. The same thing about elderly people. If there is a very old man or very old woman, they cannot fast in Ramadan, and also after Ramadan they will not be able to fast. So there is no possibility that they will be able to fast. So for this type of people, they don't fast and they feed. Again, the rule, 1 day for one person for 1 day. One person for 1 day. Here scholars say that menstruating women and postpartum women, the woman who is having postnatal bleeding, they don't fast in Ramadan, and they must make up what they missed after Ramadan. She make up what they missed after Ramadan. For pregnant women, as we said, and for nursing woman, the woman who gives breastfeeding, it's better for her to fast if she can. If she can. If she cannot, so if she is not able to fast, so there is no problem, no blame on her, but she must make up when she is ready. The same rule applies to travelers, to sick people who has a disease that can be cured. For the people who have, as we said, diseases that cannot be cured, so they don't fast, and of course they cannot make up, so they feed. One person for 1 day, one person for each day. And now we talk about acts that invalidate fasting. We'll talk about acts that invalidate fasting. If this happens, the fasting is no longer valid. Number one, eating, drinking. But remember, if someone eat or drink forgetfully, out of forgetfulness, of course, he can continue. He continues fasting. But here we are talking, scholars are talking about deliberate eating or drinking. Number two, intentionally vomiting. If someone intentionally vomit, but if this happen unintentionally, of course, he can continue. So, for example, if there is a pregnant woman vomits unintentionally, she decides to fast, alhamdulillah, as she said that I can do it, and she vomit unintentionally, so she can continue her fasting. She can continue her fasting. Also, taking out blood a large amount. So this invalidate fasting, as some scholars say, with different opinions, But scholars say that if there is a taking out of blood, large amount, so fasting is no longer no longer valid. We talked about menstruating women. We said that they don't fast, and the same thing can be said about post-birth, postnatal bleeding. Of course, sexual intercourse, this is haram, forbidden during the day. It's allowed in Ramadan at night, after Maghrib, after sunset. But during the day, it is not allowed. Then we talk about ejaculation on purpose. If someone ejaculates on purpose, this invalidates fasting. But if ejaculation happened unintentionally, maybe someone who was sleeping during the day of Ramadan at 1 o'clock afternoon, 2 o'clock afternoon, and while sleeping, there was ejaculation. So ejaculation happened, but not intentionally. Not intentionally. So for this person, he continue fasting. His fasting is still valid. Fasting is still valid. Now we talk about fasting is still valid if a person, out of ignorance, he doesn't know the rule. Maybe he doesn't know specific rules, but of course, the person who said before that the person tried to do his best to know about the Islamic rules, about fasting, about praying, but it happened, maybe there is a brother or sister, he is ignorant about a specific rule, he doesn't know the rule, so fasting is still valid. Also, fasting is still valid if someone does something forgetfully, if someone eat or drink forgetfully. So fasting is still valid. If there is a sister, she is cooking, and she put something on the tip of her tongue to taste the food. It's okay, no problem. She can do it. Maybe unintentionally, some food or some drink get into the stomach, unintentionally. Of course, the sister should be careful. But if this happened anyway, unintentionally, fasting is still valid. Fasting is still valid. The same thing, maybe there is a brother is having ablution, and while he is having ablution, some water enters the body unintentionally. So fasting is still valid. Fasting is still valid. We come to hadith of Prophet Muhammad من نسي وهو صائم فأكل أو شرب فليتم صومه فإنما أطعمه الله وسقاه. That if anyone forgetfully eat or drink while observing fasting, he should continue fasting because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has fed him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him drink. So scholar explains this hadith, that this hadith shows that if a Muslim eats or drink out of forgetfulness, he should continue fasting. He should continue fasting. Fasting remain valid. Fasting remain valid. Okay, but the person, when he remember, immediately he should stop eating, drinking, when he remember. But in fasting, generally, fasting is still valid. Whoever sees a fasting person, if you are at work, you have a friend at work, a colleague at work, and you see him drinking forgetfully, you should remind him. You should remind him. Okay? If water enters the body unintentionally, maybe someone is having ablution, maybe a sister is tasting, she is cooking, so fasting is still valid. Fasting is still valid. The same thing can be said if a fly or dust enter the mouth unintentionally. So in all this situation, fasting is still valid. By this, we come to the end of our session today about fasting. We'll continue later, inshallah. جزاكم الله خيرا وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.